All right, we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Top Deck Monthly Cup, week number 2. I'm your host, Greg Feeney, and I'm here with Tian Tran. How you doing today?
Not so bad. How's everyone doing today? How are you doing today, most importantly?
I'm doing all right. I'm ready to watch some Netrunner. How about you?
I'm pretty excited to see some Netrunner, not gonna lie. It's gonna be a new meta from my understanding from this week where we're introducing the data pack escalation.
Yep, this will be the first week Escalations live, so it should be pretty interesting to see if these players slot some new cards in their decks or if they stick with some old favorites. What do you think the most impactful card in this pack is?
Well, I think everyone's gonna say it, but I think Boom's gonna be pretty impactful in this. It's definitely gonna change how the runner mindset and deck building is gonna come about. Being importantly, because maybe one class creep might not be the only way to protect yourself now. It may be a way to just recur the kill cards and blast through the class creeps. So it might be an interesting way of thinking. Also, I believe Scarcity of Resources is also another interesting card. I've been kind of seeing it played around and tested.
Mm-hmm.
Being that Runner Econ is looking on Liberated, Temujin, a lot of resource-based economy engines. This might be a way for runners to be potentially road bumped in a minor and annoying way, but definitely interested to see what this current's going to bring. It's also a pretty inexpensive current in comparison to like all the other currents that we're seeing currently played right now.
Yeah, I think that cheap currents are definitely the best currents. It seems like, once you start to pay 2 or 3 for a current, it starts to be needs to be really good. So, yeah, and I think that there's 2 really big code gates in the pack that should make a splash with DNA Tracker and Fairchild 3.0. They both seem pretty good, super taxing, also pretty nasty to face check. So it'll be interesting to see if any of those show up in the decks tonight as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket. If you have the stream up, you'll be able to see it. But nope, that's not the right one.
Let's bring it up.
There we go. All right, so it's week 2. Whoever wins these games gets to move on to the semifinals. Anyone that may have not tuned in yet, this is a 16-person tournament. It's a single elimination, best of 3 matches each week, and yeah, we're into the second round. And today we're going to be watching Spags, Scott Pagliaroni. I hope I didn't butcher that, and Alex White, vinegarymink. He's playing as Zachary Xylophone on Kentucky. So
Now, for those who are not privy to to this, there's a xylophone group that's currently out. It's just a bunch of players who are just smurfing, making secondary accounts, hiding under the xylophone banner. So more of an internal joke. If you don't get it, if you see these xylophones going around, there are people definitely who are for the xylophones, and as we can see here, Scott definitely against xylophones or barcodes. No barcodes. I don't know what that's all about, but
I think they're talking about when people smurf and they do like the L1 L, and it looks like a barcode. So they.
Oh, I see it right now. Okay.
Let me make sure these guys got hands turned on. All right, so yeah, we've got some other good matches this week. Now, none of them actually have taken place yet, so we don't know any of the results. But we got Jonas Wilson against Travis Yo, Kyle James, aka Bluebird, against Noah McKee, and David Coleman. I think maybe how you say his name. I don't know.
David Kuhlman? Yeah, that sounds right.
Sounds right. Shmigai against Jesse Marshall, which is Australian fellow who is on the winning agenda. So let's go ahead and let's tell these guys to fire up the game. I don't know if they. Okay, so it looks like Spags is going to corp first. And he is playing New Angeles Soul. And we have Alex is playing Wizard.
Yeah.
New Angeles Soul, pretty interesting ID. Allows you to play a current From HQ or archives, anytime an agenda is scored or stolen. And I'm sure most people are familiar with Wizard, recurring 3 credits for trashing assets and upgrades.
Now, interesting enough, May, you mentioned earlier, Scott's going to mulligan here. He's going to get into rewarded because he initially had 3 agendas, but we already see in the hand a DNA tracker. So we're going to be interested to see how this is going to work out in this game and how impactful it is.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if Alex will face check any of these ice. I think normally Wizard's not too worried about face checking ice as long as he's got a David in hand or something like that. But
we also see a Keegan Lane, so this is a pretty interesting slot here. We know that Alex is playing based on the list. He's playing the usual double fork list, so there's no Yogg. So fighting through this DNA tracker, he's gonna have to be able to face check it the first time. He has David, great. But if he doesn't, he's gonna have to pay some cards either way or some money.
Right, and he's not running anything like E3 or anything like that that would help him break it easier. So he's gonna have fun breaking that one. I'm assuming he's gonna probably instantly parasite it if he sees it.
Yeah, that makes most sense there. Now Scott's definitely having the tech right off the bat to see. Oh, he pulls on target marking, so this is gonna be good. If Scott knows he's playing double fork, he can start calling out the pieces to kind of get him the money. He's getting Keegan Lane, but I don't see any tagging ice just yet. He doesn't see any Ravens, so he's not gonna be able to get it going. He's gonna put the little engine onto the remote here, which is a very strong piece of ice against Faust decks. This is a pretty good one. I'm wondering what Scott's gonna call here. Is it a wild side? There you go.
All right, so he hasn't seen anything yet to really tip off whether Alex is on wild cakes or not, but I'm guessing he's probably played him some and then maybe has a hunch.
Looking from the list also too, Alex's way to fight back is he does have 2 employee strikes, so he's opting not to install the wild side. He doesn't give Scott the 10 credits here.
Oh, you know what? The same old thing probably gave away that he was on Faust and wild cakes, because I don't think the Breaker Wizards are really playing the same old thing right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Although it's not a bad include because of, like, I know Peddler can potentially get someone good at it.
Right, you might lose something that you like an operation, a knifed or something like that. Or I think spooned is probably pretty important now with these big nasty code gates coming out. All right, so we got a run on the remote here.
All right, so the players are just going to some minor interactions, but that's fine. Interesting enough, Scott decided not to res here, so I guess he doesn't want to give away that he has the... he installed the load engine there? Yeah, he installed the load engine there because he put the DNA tracker on R&D. Okay. So moving on here, so maybe we're going to get a... Oh, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah, I guess he doesn't want to give it away, so I guess he's fine with letting the Sansan fly off. But he's going to need another piece of ice on there. And he has another little engine here, which is good. So this is going to make for a pretty strong remote if he's going to try to make the run multiple times through it.
Did you see, was the DNA tracker, did that go on R&D? Is that where he put it?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's just going to use that to try to stop the medium madness.
So here comes the engine. Going to come out. We're going to see if Alex decides to break this. It's going to cost him how many cards? Let's see. I forget here. He has a data sucker, so it's going to cost him 3 cards, 2 cards to boost, and then 2 more cards to break. So that's 4 cards total.
Yeah, and he's got some pretty important cards in his hand right now.
I was opting not to do it here.
I think it's probably good to just check out there.
Oh, there goes a news hound.
Oh, news hound. Best dice.
Alright. Sure enough, I'm going to trash one of the... And a knifed. So I'll let the trace fire here. Most likely, if it's not going to be too big of a trace, it might be willing to match it. 3 credits here. He's going to get the money back from the laundry. There we go.
So what do you think about these Keegan Lanes? I know Spags is pretty high on this card. I feel like he's probably like someone that really likes it. That out of I don't think it's played very often. So
Healand's a pretty good card, and the reason being is because a lot of runners nowadays, if you think about for like double fork or Damon fork, it only runs 2 Faust. It does not recur many ways to recur it, besides if people are packing Deja Vu. So it can be pretty punishable if you make the raw mental misstep and allow yourself to get a trash and you discard the other one, right? You have to wait until you lobby back, and that could open up potentially a huge scoring window for you.
Yeah.
Oh, a parasite. What's going on here? Ambitious. Yeah, it is an ambitious thing to do to parasite down this little engine. It's going to be quite a run for it. Scott's starting to get a little bit flooded with the agendas. He's got 3 out of 5 agendas in hand.
Yeah, I think he's going to be all right, though, because I don't think that Alex is probably looking to make multiple runs on that News Hound. That doesn't seem like something that he would be willing to do right now. Unless he can get his hand on a fork or something.
So there we go. It looks like Alex once again opting to just run through this, which is not a bad proposition. He's ditching all copies of Wildside. He's ditched the Faust. And if I relook this list, looking at it again, and most likely there's actually 3 Fausts. So even if he loses one, he may be able to get the other one. It's not too bad. So Scott's gonna counter with a Purge, discard GFI. It's always interesting to see the runner, really trying to fight against giving them 10 credits. I mean, he has Wildside and Pancakes here, and he is on par for money. And it looks like he's put the CVS into the remote. So Scott's trying to play around with him.
Yeah, a lot of people starting to cut CVS, they have maybe in the past month cut CVS, but it seems like it's probably still good to run at least one.
Yeah. With what was it? I believe Nexus Cake coming out to being a little bit more popular.
Sure.
I know Ethan just recently released an article about it on StimHack. It is a worthwhile include because a lot of decks are like, for example, like Jeeves decks or Biotic Labor decks. Being able to just roll bump them just enough is enough of an annoyance.
Sure.
So we're going to see a Fortune to HQ here, which is going to open up HQ wide for data suckers. And
yeah, this could potentially be bad for Spags here.
Oh, he's ditching both the Justice Corner Knights, so it looks like Alex might not even go for the whole Wildside plan. But turntable. So Scott's going to play target market again. Is he willing to call Wildside again? Is the question. Ran asking us, please call him Zachary. All right, well, there's another News Hound, so News Hound's going to go on HQ again to make this quite of an annoyance. And it's like the draw. This little engine is definitely making money.
Abram was asking if he discarded a medium already, and why he was holding the one in hand. It looks like no, he actually hasn't.
He has discarded medium.
He has?
Yeah, that's why he's holding it in hand.
You
know what? Doesn't want to lose his multi-axis at the moment.
Yeah, I don't see him. Oh, you're right. Okay, I missed it. It's there.
It's all good. So he's going to run in, touch the CVS and Purge, which is going to be a bit painful here. So, and we're seeing the E-Strike coming out of hand. So E-Strike's going to remove the current and now slam down the Wildside. But I believe Scott has another TM in hand, so.
Yeah. Well, and Alex has already ditched both of his adjusted chronotypes. So he'll be playing with 3 clicks for the rest of the game, unless he gets it back somehow.
Yeah. He does have Same old thing. So you could potentially. Oh, here's the run. So we're gonna see a DNA tracker. So this is gonna hurt a bit. DNA tracker being a total beast here. This is gonna cost 2 cards to match, three to break. So that's 5 cards in total. So you're looking at 1 card to keep in hand here.
Well, he's got a spoon, so I think maybe that is probably what he keeps, so that he can deal with that in the future.
So it looks like he's opting to let DNA tracker fire here.
Okay.
So the spoon's gonna stay in hand. He lost to David here.
Yeah, the spoon and the David would have been nice.
Yeah. So I'd say that was a good hit. Now, Laura just answered. Scott did not forget targeted marketing. The way it works is that because employee strike is out, it prevents the runner from being able to. The corp from being able to play the current. In case that's the question you had.
Yeah, but then Spags just played it on Levy.
Oh, did he?
I think he just played out of hand on Levy that last turn.
Oh, okay, good.
I've been playing kind of fast. Let me try to scroll back and see. It's on Levy though.
Yeah, it is on Levy now. Yeah, so chat's confirming here. So yeah, employee strike was out. So thank you for those who are staying in tune with the game. Just all the stream monsters keeping us live. I think we're on HQ here. This is gonna be a Newshound res. Although Scott is contemplating because I think he needs the money here to keep everything alive. So he's not gonna res. He has nothing in hand, no threats. And we're gonna see it run onto this remote here. And there's another little engine. So this remote's looking super tough. Now here's the question: does he want a little engine? Does he want to spoon the little engine, or does he want to spoon the R&D so he can get more multi-access? So this is quite a big fork that Scott's placed Alex into.
I'm wondering if Alex is running any kind of fractor. No, he's not. Okay, so he's gonna have to, if he is gonna deal with the wraparound, he's gonna have to use David, or just spend a bunch of cards.
Yeah. Okay, so right now Scott has a target marketing on the levy itself, right?
Yes.
So Scott here just has to get money. That's the correct answer. We're looking at drawing the last two. You can see David and the data sucker. David's going to do some work here. Most likely going to be spooning something. Yep. There we go. Onto R&D. Question is he going to blow through and start using some cards for this? Yep. He's going to start doing that too.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to levy anyways, so he might as well burn these cards.
And he's also going to be able to stop out the target market from getting 10 because he does employ strike in hand. This is pretty good. Scott accident Archangel, but doesn't want to spend the money. So I like what Alex did here on his last click to get money off Liberated, because what he's trying to do is load up his next turn to be Liberated, employ strike, and he could say one thing to levy. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh yeah, he actually only has 3 clicks, so let's say he's not gonna get the value, get another Liberated back into the deck.
Right. Well, he levies out an adjusted chronotype, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna want to get that installed so he can get his click back.
So, did you ever think that the game would get to this point where we actually have the current wars?
Yeah, no, not really. I love it though. I think it's definitely a part of the game that adds another layer. Yeah, it's funny building decks now and actually having to be like, I might have to put a current in this deck just to just to counteract my opponent's current.
Sorry, pardon my coughing, everyone.
Okay, so Spags did name chronotype.
Yeah.
So we might just see him. We might just see Alex stay on 3 clicks for a while.
What do you think about the decision here in terms of like Alex foregoing and just waiting for the employer strikes to come up? just like hitting himself tempo wise,
Mm-hmm.
just so that he can prevent Scott from getting 10 credits.
Yeah, I think it's all right because I think that he wants to keep Spags low on credits as much as possible, and I really think it's an advantage. It's a big advantage for Spags if he can get a lot of credits. So I think I like it.
Mm-hmm. Well, there goes adjusted from hand, really. So looks like Alex is fine with playing on 3 clicks for the entire game.
Well, he has another one in hand too, so he had 2 in his hand.
No, they're all in the dump now.
Oh, that's a liberated. Sorry, sometimes those kind of look the same to me. Yeah, okay. Well, he just says, no, I don't want to give him the 10 credits. And he's fine playing with 3 clicks.
Okay, go around into archives and see a wraparound and prevent that access. So these servers are nice and locked up. They're all pretty taxing. I don't know if I fully agree with just going down to 3 clicks for this. This makes it pretty taxing for Alex here.
It looks like Alex made an error. He can't actually use Data Sucker against an encountered Archangel. When that.
Okay, so that's what happened there. I was wondering why the modifications were happening.
Did they fix that? I didn't.
Yep, I saw it in the chat. I was looking at it. I didn't want to comment
Right.
too much on it. I was assuming everything's being sorted out. So
Okay, I wasn't sure if they fixed it or not.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a weight being called out. So let's click on turntable. Sure. Scott's gonna play targeted marketing here. I don't think he's gonna call adjusted again. He's gonna name David. Okay, that's a good call. Alex playing the part. We got it. Oh, looks like Alex meant to swap for the Beal, leaving Scott at 2 points and putting Alex up to 4 points. So, okay, they're going to manually fix this.
Yeah, they should be able to fix that.
Sure. Sounds good. So I think the easiest interaction here is Scott to just put it on naked remote onto the table. And he's going to do it here. So for those who are watching at home, Alex meant to do the turntables. What the heck? Doing dirty laundry. Oh, man. Anyways. Yeah, just trying to fix it up, get the swap out on the breaking news. So fixing and detect these is going to look like making it in a remote rather than random accessing HQ, just making it easier.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we've got it square now.
Yep.
We got Alex is on 4 and Spags is on 2. So that turntable, yeah, that's doing some work.
Yeah, turntable wins games. Also stops you from losing in a lot of cases. So who knew that switching agendas would be so powerful? But here we go. We're going to see Scott score another Beal in the remote.
All right, so now he gets a chance to name something new, right? Or is that no? It's only when
he could potentially name something new.
Yeah.
Whether you score or steal. And
what is it on right now?
Right now it's on David.
Okay.
So David's going to go away. We're going to see a double medium happen. Scott's going down to... Oh. So it's going to get a knife onto R&D here. Uh-oh. Got the Pack Howards.
Yeah, I think Spags making a joke just because he hasn't drawn one yet. It definitely, the game feels differently as a corp when you don't draw any of your Jackson Howards the entire game.
Yeah, it's not the kind of game you hope for. Now, this one R&D is going to net 2 additional cards here, which is pretty strong.
Yeah, we got the double medium action happening. This is usually the point in the game where NBN loses.
Mm-hmm. Scott lives here, but at what cost?
Mm-hmm.
Install game 2. So we know the Beal's in the remote. And these 3 restructures like 3 brain damage in the hand right now. Not feeling good. So 2 cards are gonna go away here. That's in a tough position here, Scott. Scott's sorry trying to call the GG. Gonna see, what is it? We're gonna see 3 new cards here. There we go. That's breaking news. Gonna take away the Beal from him. There you go. So he's got to touch 1 more point and he wins the game here.
There's a Jackson.
I think that's so.
Oh,
it's
no.
a Keegan.
Keegan.
Not even a Jackson. Oh my god.
That's the 3rd Keegan, I think.
Seeing Keegan before Jackson. That's crazy. That's hilarious.
Yeah, he saw all 3 of his Keegans.
So Scott actually has a moment to breathe. And looks like he's going to have to purge here.
Yeah. He doesn't...
What?
I'm wondering if, like, he probably ideally, well, he wants to get 1 more piece of ice on R&D, but he doesn't have the money for it. And if he just lets Alex keep seeing, 6, 7 cards, that's not gonna work. At least make him run it, build up those counters again. No,
So this is not a bad call. Calling out Parasite. There's only 1 Parasite on the table. Because Scott knows where the fort is already out. Parasite on that little engine was MVP this game. Seems to be. Been doing a lot of work. Scott's been using a lot of purge actions, but I don't think it was just because of the Parasite. So I think the Parasite might go away here. He is over MU. There we go.
So, what do you think he's going to ditch here?
This should be a game right here because there's agendas in the archive. There was a GFI there. That's going to end the game.
Good game.
Good game. So coming out of that, I think Scott had a bit of a tough draw, as you mentioned already. He had the pieces he had Keegan's. He didn't draw the Ravens in time to be able to threaten the trash. So I think had he had that a little bit earlier on, the remote was definitely a safe part, but defending against Sancho's was the tough part.
Yeah, it seems like definitely that Keegan Lane Data Raven combo could have helped him if he could have got that online.
Yeah.
So we had that Parasite get installed at the very beginning of the game, and it stayed on the little engine the entire game until the end when he just installed over it.
Well, to be fair, the Parasite did go away. It just wasn't on the terms that Alex had wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
Little engine was staying there, choo-chooing away. Yeah, so we're going to see a switch on sides here, but we're going to see something a little bit fresh. We will see again New Energy Soul. We're already seeing a scarcity of resources. Wow, it's amazing. Versus Andromeda here. Now, Zachary is going to mulligan. He's going to lose the scarcity. So to keep the blue level and the whole the hedge fund, but I think this deck also runs Sweep, but looks like didn't get a chance to see it here. Yep, 3 Sweep, not a single one.
Ah, bummer.
All right, I guess Scott's going to keep this hand. He's pretty content with a bunch of money and a career fair. And it's your turntable, so there's no siphons to start off. I believe Scott does pack siphons, right? It'd be crazy not to. Yeah, he does. 3 siphons.
Yeah, no Desperado either at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Or Temujin.
There we go. Turn on R&D. If he hits, great. If he doesn't, he's going to get a counter and $5 either way.
Seems good.
There's a bit of a debate. I think it's it's an Archangel. Oh wow! So doesn't want that turning wheel to stay there. I think this is. He's questioning if it's right or wrong. I think it's not a bad proposition, being that he does have blue levels in hand.
Right. Well, and he was gonna. Well, yeah.
It's always the nuts when you get that dirty laundry or you get that run into R&D thinking, great, I'm gonna access a card and it's Archangel. Get kicked down and your medium flies back to your hand. In this case, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was probably a good play. Just with Andy, you definitely don't want him to get off to that sick Andy start that just kind of like leans on you. And if you can kind of let off the pressure a little bit at the beginning.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we're going to see an install of ice on HQ, seeing that Clipperclip's being ditched. Did you happen to see that ice? I missed it for a hot moment. No? Okay, I guess not.
What did you say? Sorry, I didn't hear what you
I was
said.
wondering if you saw what the ice on HQ went.
The ice on HQ? No, I didn't see it.
All right, well, it looks like we're both going to be surprised.
Hopefully it'll be something spicy.
Oh, Scott's laughing because he drew a peacock. I think he might.
Oh, he's supposed to have Peregrine in his deck. That's the problem. There's an issue with NRDB where for some reason Peregrine wasn't loaded in or something like that, and I think that he may have not paid attention when he copied his list over, and he was wanting to switch that. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna go. Yeah. I mean, the list says Peregrine, not Peacock. So I think, yeah, it's okay to just let him play it as he submitted it.
So,
I mean, I understand why it happened. It's because of specifically it's the NRDB won't. You can't put Peregrine into it. So he was using it as a placeholder and just forgot to change it when he imported his list.
oh, Howard, nice.
Yeah, Spags lamenting the Howard on the other side of the board.
It's pretty nice when you see Jackson Howard. It's not a bad deal. So Scott's trying. He's got Career Frame to Earthrise, which is pretty good here. He's going to run Archives to get some money. And most likely he's going to end the turn with into. Oh! I don't think Alex realized that this was a security testing, so he didn't have to do this.
Yeah.
So a little bit too primitive on this, so that's such as the nature of playing online. There you go. Alex reading that, realizing now it was an actual true test.
So looking at Zach's list, aka Alex, like you're calling him Zach, I'm calling him Alex. He is definitely looking to land tags. He's playing 2 mid-seasons and 0 San City grids.
Oh my!
And 0 Biotic Labors. So
this consulting visit, is it paid for influence? Is that
let's see. Yes, he's paying the 3 for consulting visit.
Oh man!
And that is, I'm guessing, pretty much it's a mid-seasons tutor for the most part, I would think. So yeah, I think his plan here is to get ahead in money, which is always difficult to do against Andy currently. But he probably wants to close off Archives pretty soon to deny any Temujin runs and things like that. Sec testing.
Scott's having the hot debate if he should discard the Plascrete here. Seeing blue level clearance, kind of throwing Scott off like maybe he doesn't play good old Boom in this deck.
Yeah, he saw blue level clearance, so that is kind of a red flag as to it's not sort of a standard deck. A lot of times people play blue level in combo decks. So maybe he could be thinking that possibly he could be on some kind of shutdown combo, maybe? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, here's a moment of truth. Let's see two. We're gonna see two breaking news installed onto the table here.
All right.
So Scott's gonna check both of them here.
Right, or else he's gonna get zapped with the all-seeing eye.
The all-seeing eye.
So potentially a big play coming in here if Alex can pull this off.
Oh, okay. Scott is ready to do this. He wants to be able to check these remotes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. There's a resistor. Well, paperclip comes out. This is quite expensive for doing all this. This is
Yes.
going to put Scott in the range of midseason here.
I think that what Alex is thinking here is not only could he potentially land the all-seeing eye, but if he doesn't, then Spags is going to spend a bunch of money and he's going to be able to mid-season him.
Yeah.
So great play by Alex. I think this is a fantastic play.
Yeah, totally makes sense here.
Yep, and he runs it. So it looks like we're going to get a mid-seasons.
Mid-season's online. We're going to also see an all-seeing eye here land. Plays his cards right. Now, I don't know how I feel about the first scarcity resources that went down off. You gosh, you're not playing harp.
Well, I think he's going to find out right here. He doesn't need to be on harp.
So we're going to lose a bunch of resources here, which is going to be a kick in the face.
Yeah, and he's going to have a pretty good amount of tags.
So I think Alex is trying to figure out his turn here.
I think Alex wants to keep enough money to score a breaking news next turn so that he has something to EOI, maybe? I don't know.
I don't think you need to EOI anything here, though, because he just has both breaking news here.
Well, no, he doesn't need a EOI here, but I don't know. I would want to get that breaking news out of my hand because once your opponent steals it, you no longer have a one-pointer to swap with other stuff. You know what I mean?
So we can bring up Alex after for ask him at this point. I think what's actually going inside Alex's head right now is actually, if I mid-season him, will the tags, like how long will the tags stick for, right? Which is the biggest question. Because, yeah, he's going to do it here. I guess he values being able to do the all-seeing eye here as a strength 9. And he's going to naturally boost it.
Okay.
So, I would say pay the money here.
Really, these tags are not going to last, but it's going to allow him to get off the all-seeing eye, so that's the important thing.
So Scott's already calling it. So he's definitely, you can match all the way and just receive just one tag here.
So let's analyze how good this all-seeing eye is in the situation. We've got a one power counter Earthrise, which is not a huge deal. The 2 daily casts, yeah, those hurt. And then we've got a 1 counter turning wheel.
So, in my opinion, this makes sense because 1, you don't want turning wheel on the table. 2, being the 2 free draw is pretty powerful. 3, security testing is going to allow him to get value off data sucker and getting money off running archives. So, ASI here is actually a good play.
Yeah.
Just at the trade-off is that for you to do this ASI, you're not going to be able to keep the tags for a long time.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good play. I was just kind of trying to evaluate like how good it'll be. I mean, I know it's going to be good, but I think getting rid of the sec testing and the turning wheel is pretty huge.
Mm-hmm. Or we know resistors is strength 1 now.
There we go.
Okay.
Big time.
No res.
Big money. Okay.
So
do you remember what ice we've got on these 2 servers here?
I do not remember the ice on R&D. I think Scott needs to remove the tag here. Oh, he's choosing to let's go all the way. Doesn't make sense though. Nothing to exchange information. Not too much money to lose here.
Mm-hmm.
Can't get bad times. Dad Ravens are an R&D. Thank you so much, Kenny. Oh, sorry, Archangel, wasn't it?
Well,
Yeah, I think it was Archangel on R&D. That's what I remember the draw for it. But you might be right, Kenny. It might be Dad Raven R&D.
I'm gonna go with Data Raven just because he's got more of those in his deck, so we'll see what's more likely.
Just playing the odds. Okay, so I think Zach in typical. Oh, we're gonna click up the gamma. I target Mario. I look like such a genius. Zach's also stuck on the money. Oops, sorry.
He very well could be right there as well. And he was.
Yep. Zach missed the opportunity.
Yeah, get to trust his gut.
Yeah, so okay, it was Archangel R&D Data Raven HQ is what Kenny was trying to say.
Oh, okay, Data Raven is HQ.
Yeah.
Got it.
So looks like you jamming the Explode Palooza into the remote. I sync it up with the News Hound. So quite annoying actually for Mongoose, but actually Mongoose now will be able to get through for $1. Oh, it's gonna be a legwork here. This is a big legwork here. This actually end the game.
Wow. Yeah, he would need to score all three of the agendas, but
so we'll see what Chris it looks like.
Either way, it's he's gonna score something, and
here's the Beal. That's one. What's the next hit?
Let's see. Okay, so we got Zach thinking about what he's going to play targeted marking. They play on Desperado. All right, here we go. Access number 2. Suspense.
Scotty too hotty, revealy the body. Come on. Quandary. With and breaking news. So missing the Astro.
Unfortunate.
But grabbing all the news. Scott saying toilet paper ice. This remote could just end the game though. This is tough because Alex in no way can attempt to advance this remote and try to be like, hey, come and take it so I can get $5.
Well, yeah. I mean, it depends on what Spags' read is on server 2. If he thinks it might be a Sand City grid.
Ooh, Desperado, but it's been called out, so it looks like that's not going to be something Scott's going to play here.
Oh, we got a networking in hand, so that could come in handy later. It's definitely not going to matter right this minute.
I gained 3 credits. Pop-up window. Good piece of ice. Going to be replacing R&D. Install, get $2. That's where I was going to draw 2. You're going to see another Pellegrin. Desperado's going to give him. Oh, he's going to play Freedom to Equality and then Desperado. So, which is getting rid of the target marketing. Not going to give him 10 credits, which is great.
And yeah, I don't think it'll matter as far as the points go. It doesn't look like. I don't think Alex has any more 1-pointers left in his deck.
Oh, Scott is saying he was going to click up. So, to pay for the pop-up. It's great to see players in this community do have it's great interaction going back and forth when we see things like this.
Yeah, I mean these are both classy guys. They don't want to win on some technicality or something like that. All right, so let's see how many agendas we got left in the deck here. Not many.
So we're looking at 10 agendas total. Knowing that there's 6 out, there's 4 left in the deck.
All right, and there's none in archives, right? Yeah. 6 out, 6 left, or sorry, 4 left, and they're all 2-pointers.
Oh my gosh. Blue level was covering the two GFIs in hand.
Oh. Okay, so now we have only 2 agendas left in R&D. So if Spags can get into R&D, he can get in there so cheap right now. So it could be good for Zach if Spags kind of focuses too hard on R&D. And there's just not much in there to steal.
I'm thinking Scott's mind, like any server is assailable now. It's like not too much of an issue. So checking archives to 3 times then going to the remote is not a bad deal whatsoever here.
Sure. Yeah, I mean with those suckers, nothing's going to be too expensive.
No. There we go. And looks like this little news hound's going to get eaten out by the mongoose.
Just 1 credit.
Just 1 credit, eating both subs.
Could be a double news hound. I'm not sure if I don't know what that other ice is.
Sounds like, oh snap, you stacked them.
Yeah, double news hound would be a problem. For anybody that might not know, mongoose is a sentry breaker that can only break 1 ice per run. So if we have another sentry here in position 2, Spags would not be able to break it with mongoose.
Nope. So we're gonna see here if he can get in. He's gonna have to reduce by 1 more strength with data sucker though.
So if it is a news hound and he does res it, then Spags will have to end his turn with a tag, which is not too bad at this point, but
Mouse is wonky tonight. There we go. And then we're gonna see if this next thing is a news hound. Let's see, what is it? Is it the hound? Yes, it is. So not gonna be able to break this.
all right. Well, that'll save the game for now.
Scott just reducing the.
Fortunately for Spags, he has a second mongoose in hand, so he will be able to get into that server next turn if he needs to.
I think Scott forgot. Yep. He was just reminded and he just forgot instantly.
Well, making him res is it's good. He's gonna have to go broke if he wants to score out the Exploda.
It's not a bad deal.
And really, the tag is not that big of a deal.
No, not at all. Wow, drawing the other agenda. So checking R&D would have ended the game there too. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you almost think I don't know. You almost think he could have just ran R&D once. I don't know. Hindsight is 2020, and obviously there wasn't a great chance that there would be an agenda there. But
Oh, welcome to Netrunner.
yeah,
4 agendas in hand. What an interesting time to be.
yeah, and we've got a Data Raven is the one that's on HQ. So
I don't even know if you want an EOI here. EOI was, just discarded. It makes sense.
yeah. What are you gonna EOI? You're not gonna score any more. Oh, there it is.
Wow.
And that's the game.
That's all the agendas in the deck.
Wow, that was there was only 1 agenda left, so that was pretty fortunate. He had a 5% chance to hit an agenda there.
All right, Greg, you got to roll for the 3rd game. What are we gonna see?
All right, I'm gonna roll for Spags. Jink. All right, Spags is on. What is information dynamics? I don't even know what that is. Is that like a draft ID or something?
What? I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like it's a corp. So Spags is gonna corp.
Scott Pagler. All right, let him know he's gonna corporate now.
All right, so Spags has got a chance at redemption here with his corp. He complained of some bad draws. Wasn't happy with the fact that he didn't get any of his Jacksons. So we'll see if he can make it work the second time around. I'm excited. This is the last time you guys only had 2 games, so this will be the first 3-game streamed match. So.
Oh, I don't even know. I think if we had a 3rd game and I was playing Corp again, I would have just gave up. that was not ideal.
Well, yeah, probably not. But specifically, the game that you played when you corped, his draw was like bonkers. Like it was, if you could have named 5 cards in his hand that he wanted,
he had all 5.
He pretty much had all 5. He started with a modded, a magnum opus, a security nexus, and I can't remember what the other 2 were. But then he drew into 2 sure gambles and then an SMC. So it was basically like it was just completely bonkers. Oh, and then he picked up his rabbit hole like the next turn. So it was it was just unfortunate. He got such a good draw.
So we're going to see Scott here start off, sweep, wrap around on R&D, and then go into target marking wild side. But we're going to be countered very quickly with the employer strike into wild side. So not going to be given an opportunity to mess around. Currents overriding currents. Sounds like Netrunner. Good game. So, and we're going to see a David, credit David, run remote. And this is where Scott decides. I don't think you even res here. You don't care because you can't trash the Santen. Oh, no, I think this is too preemptive. Not what we want to do here. Yeah. So Scott's going to draw into sweep. Let's see a twice draw here. Looks like Alex needs money, so he's going to credit up twice. Not going to be playing any of the money cards here. No daily cast, no sure gamble. So he's going to have to ditch a card here because he's credit twice. So unless he wants to solve Southwest Sums and discard only 1 card.
I don't think he really needs the slums too much in this matchup. So
no, I agree. So discard a fart, which is quite interesting.
Like the only thing you're gonna slum is a Jackson, and Spags is probably is gonna pop a Jackson anyways. So.
Mm-hmm. So Scott's gonna draw the Jackson. He'll be pretty happy here because he needed that. So that was an issue previously. Saw the breaking news. I think Scott actually is gonna go and kill this wild side. There you go. So.
That's a good tempo hit.
Die in a fire. Yeah.
Was that the Kalimsha play? Just kill the kill the wild side.
Kill the wild side all night. Yeah.
I think that was a joke for a while. Was that like anything you said about NBN? That Kalimsha's answer was always just kill it with breaking news.
Yeah. Sounds right. Sounds absolutely right. Gonna want to run HQ. Gonna be able to get in. No threats in HQ except losing the Jackson. Nope. And gonna drop getting the Parasite. Target marketing's should come out here again.
So you're a little surprised to see 0 rumor mill between the 2 of them?
Yes and no. I think for a lot of people, when we look at rumor mill, it's been definitely a bit of a meta defining card, but at the same time too, like inside this little vacuum of a format, it's like there's chances people may not play it. Just the same way we didn't see Boom today, right?
Right.
So Scott's daring Alex going to this remote, but I don't think. Yeah, so Alex is not going to go into remote out of fear of Keegan Lane blowing up a breaker or blowing up a programming. Yeah,
so he's got the benefit of knowing a little bit of what's in Spags' deck this time.
Now we're going to see the restructure. Oh, sorry, you're going to say?
Nothing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
We saw in the last game, none of the restructures are played. So we're going to wonder to see if Scott's going to be able to use restructures in this game. because this with this kind of wizard, it's been pretty aggressive on the centrals. So Scott's been raising a lot of the ice to be preventative of Alex getting the remotes or getting the servers to get data suckers too.
Yeah, I think restructure is one of those cards. It's definitely gonna be hard to play. It sits in your hand a lot if you can't get up to 10 credits, and it just doesn't really help you in games when you're having money problems. I lately, because a lot of NBN decks are trying to play with less remotes so that they don't just give up free Temujin runs, and I think I've been using Launch Campaign a little bit, and I feel like it's a decent card right now because you can play it in a single remote deck. And a lot of times it's kind of, a lot of the runners don't want to trash it because it goes away so fast.
Mm-hmm. So Jackson Howard's going to bring back 3 Sweep Speed back into the deck. Alex, knowing now that wasn't a Keegan, he was more willing to run the remote. But I really think Scott's going to figure out a way to get this restructured up and going because he does need the money. I'm pretty tough here. Because I know the DNA tracker is going to be something he's going to res, and he's going to need the money to be able to do this. So looks like he's willing to install the Archangel onto HQ. Just to defend HQ a little bit. David's still going to be able to get through this Archangel onto HQ. And it looks like Alex is drawing a bunch of cards. And he's going to parasite that Dad Raven. We're wondering to see if this parasite's going to live the same fate as the first parasite in the other game.
Well, with the Raven, at least there's a little bit. You got 4 strength versus 7, so it'll hopefully be able to do something with it.
The Jackson comes up, drawing some more agendas. Looks like Scott just wants to get money here. He's going to ditch 2 GFIs into the bin. Another News Hound's going to come up here. Looks like he's going to take the tag, and he's going to remove the tag. Have to discard a bunch of cards. So I'm getting 3 credits, discard the last agenda I get in hand. So that's all 3 agendas into the bin. I think Scott's really understanding here that he needs that restructure to come online. It's going to be over memory here, so he's going to have to ditch a program. And he's going to ditch the data sucker. There we go. See another restructure. It's a little tough here.
Yeah, I was about to say I wonder if Spags would just credit up because he's tempted. He wants to play both of those restructures at the same time.
So we're going to see a knife to R&D here. Raven's going to come up. So it's going to slow down Scott's ability to restructure.
Mm-hmm.
And looks like we're going to really want this this knife to go through. So we're going to go through the Raven, break twice, break with 2 cards, take the tag. So it's a bit of an expensive knife, but should pay off here because he's going to get 2 access to medium. And sees nothing here. Yeah, and Scott's going to purge. What is he going to discard here is the question. I think the 3 Kogates here he does want to keep. Is he going to be worried about seeing another employee strike is the question. Oh, looks like he's dishing one of the engines.
Okay, so I guess since he had 2, he probably figures he's not going to be able to res all 3 of those ice anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. So another fork comes in. Oh, let's say it's 2 forks in this deck. So I know people were mentioning earlier in the chat that discount fork was a bit of a bad choice, but Raven's going to go turn on to R&D. He's going to see another card here. I think this is going to be 1 fresh card.
Yeah, it looks like he's running 2 fork, 2 knifed, and 1 spoon.
Mm-hmm. But R&D, you're going to see 2 new cards here again. So pretty vicious R&D aggression here.
Yeah, I mean, Spags is going to be forced to. Oh, and he gets another one. He gets a GFI. And Spags just ditched the exchange. So you can't even celebrate the fact that he might be able to swap it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and the Astro. Okay, so that's pretty unfortunate for Spags.
And Alex is going to remove the tag here. Scott's got a lot to be able to claw out of this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think Alex had to remove the tag in case he's got an exchange of information in hand. He could steal that food.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to see the sweep. Looks like Alex was playing to the sweeps they saw on top of the deck.
Mm.
And yeah, once again, looks like the restructures are acting like brain damage in the hand here because they're literally not being able to be played here. The aggression onto R&D is pretty strong.
Well, the little engine is going to slow him down. Yep, stops him. So.
Oh my gosh, there's 3 restructures.
Oh, another restructure.
It's tough here, but yeah, he has to purge.
Yeah. I mean, next turn he's probably going to be able to click for credits and discard one of those restructures. Or, well, he could play the sweeps if... yeah, it looks like he'll probably be able to play the sweeps.
Yeah, the sweeps are going to work here. You can put a wrap around R&D. Yep, and he's going to credit. And Alex is taking a turn just to take money. Oh. Credit 3 times and hope nothing happens next turn so you can be able to play the restructures.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, Alex blanking the current play employee strikeout so he can get the wild side up and online. There we go. Double restructure. I think this was the moral victory for Scott being able to play these cards. Happy Christmas.
Well, and he's got a DNA tracker in hand, so he can maybe install that with the San and try to get something going there.
Mm-hmm. Although Alex just on time, he's gonna see the spoon, so he even does get up once. Might be spoon the next turn right after. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a third Jackson. Well, Scott's getting what he wants. He's got all the Jackson he needs.
Spent his restructures, got his Jacksons. Now he probably wishes he had a Keegan Lane. Yeah. But I guess all the data ravens are dead, or at least the ones that we knew about.
I haven't seen the Keegans. So it looks like it's the reverse this time. Different executives showing up rather than Keegan. It's going to be Jackson showing up. Which I think in most situations, people are much more happy to see.
So do you think we're going to get a Beal scored here, or do you think that Alex is going to contest this remote?
I think it's a bit of a toughie. Because I think Alex, like from his perspective, he wants to be able to threaten R&D again. Mm-hmm. Because knowing that Scott shuffled 3 fresh cards back into the deck. But there we go. It's going to be the res, the DNA tracker. There's a bunch of cards he can discard, so he's going to discard I've had worse. Oh, wow. There's the boost, and then 2 cards. We could use David here. There's a Parasite.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't need the I've had worse. It's 4 in his stack, and he's still got a wild side out, so.
So there goes Sansan.
Um,
Hedge fund. And Jackson's going to go in the remote. So Scott looking to waste more time. Scott trying to play catch up here.
yeah, I think it's a good bait. I think that okay, he just goes as a levy. I don't know. I thought maybe it was a pretty good bait. Like maybe he would convince Alex that he was trying to jam an agenda, thinking that he wouldn't, be able to break through whatever ice he put out there.
All right. Scott's looking to shuffle a bunch of stuff back into the deck here. Wonder what he's going to pick up.
Well, he's got a Sansan in hand, so he's probably doesn't need to grab a Sansan.
I'm very surprised Scott's shuffling the restructure back based on what's been happening, but I guess he's going to have money now in comparative.
I wonder what the face down was.
Face down is Sansan.
Oh, no, I mean he took a face down out of Archives.
Oh, I see, yeah.
I wonder if it was a Keegan. I don't think it was a Keegan, because the only Keegan was face up.
And yeah, Laurie's definitely right about this in chat. He's saying that you got to run the remote because Scott can't win without the remote here.
Yeah.
So I think Alex is doing the right pressure, making sure the remote doesn't get online. And knowing that we have 2 Ravens into the discard, make it a bit easier in terms of contesting this remote. So mapping this out, I mean, this is going to be 3 cards here. Next one is going to be 5 cards. So, I mean, that is all the cards in the hand that you could potentially get rid of just to get into the remote. You can also save a card by using a David. So it's a pretty expensive remote here to get into. Yeah, in your mindset, would you be willing to pay through the cards to get into the remote?
That's a good question. I think that since Spags is only on 1 point, he could get away with not checking the remote.
Looks like you choose not to. So looks like we're gonna see. Oh, draws the other Santa. We're gonna see the BO finally being squared out of here.
Yeah, and actually, this is a pretty good. This is pretty good for Spags right here, because if Alex runs and trashes that Sansan, he's just going to jam another Sansan in there, and he's basically just going to keep putting the pressure on Alex to run the remote and hopefully get another scoring window.
Mm-hmm. The only tough part is that Resin Sansan does cost money every time, so Scott ideally needs 2 more scores to win. I know one of them has to be not a Beal. It's going to be have to EOY something. If that's probably the easiest way. What are the other generals that Scott has in his deck here? Let's see. Let's take a look. 15 minutes, 2 breaking news, 3 GFIs. Yeah, the last score is going to be the troublesome part. I think most likely, what Scott actually put back in the deck was the exchange of information. I think that makes the most sense here.
Yeah, that's probably right. Because he's going to probably need to get that off.
So I think there was a wraparound R&D last time I looked.
Yes.
So he does need to rest here to tax out a little bit.
Spags talking a little trash.
So there's going to be a bunch of cards. So add 1 more and 2 cards. We blow through 5 cards. Little engine. What a monster. So we gain 5 credits off this. Much like that dirty laundry in his hand. Oh, did Scott give him the 5 credits here?
No, he's not. What do you mean? Why would he gain the 5 credits? He has to.
Oh, he broke all three. Ooh, never
Well,
mind. I
yeah,
keep
he
forgetting.
has to because he was spooning it. So
Whew.
yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about spooning a little engine. You don't get your money.
Totally forgetting about this.
Yeah, it hurts. All
All
right.
right.
Well, Spags is going to score that Beal. I can't see any reason why he wouldn't.
Oh, this is actually an interesting conundrum because Scott can either score this deal or be more defensive on R&D. He has the pieces together. Yeah, it looks like he wants to be defensive here.
Okay. I mean, it's fair. Now he's got the Keegan up, um, and he's got a Data Raven in play. So if he can kill the Faust, well, we know that Zach has another Faust in hand, but
Yep.
Spags doesn't know that. And if he does, he's cheating.
Cheats McGee. Oh, Howard's left to save me now. All right, Archangel's gonna pop up. Boom, boom, and another card. If he wants to go through, he's gonna have to get rid of all the cards in the hand here, or take a tag. Like leaving one card in hand, which is most likely David. Yep.
So we're going to have a 50-50 shot here on a win for Zach.
There we go. So we pay for the trace, which makes the most sense here. 50-50 could end the game. If it doesn't, the most interesting part of all this is Scott could snipe out the. Oh, there we go. That ends the night.
Oh,
Didn't even get to complete my thought. 50-50.
good game. Well, I wonder if... well, now he wouldn't have been able to run again. Well, unless he was willing to let... No, yeah, he wouldn't have been able to run again.
Mm-hmm.
Good games.
Them's the beats. Getting rolling to the end there. Definitely, I think as I was continuing on that thought, if he had been able to res the Raven to pop off the David or the Faust, that would have been definitely within the play.
Mm-hmm.
Could have bought him some time.
So do you think, without being results oriented, do you think he made the right play in playing a little bit more defensively there, or do you think he would have been better off just scoring the Beal?
I think Scott had the right intentions there. It's a bit tough because Scott is on the back pedal, so maybe scoring was the better choice. If knowing that now he has two wraparounds in R&D, it's pretty taxing as it is. Stripping David counters is pretty good as an idea.
Yeah.
I understand the logic behind why we did this. Just being a 50-50 in hand, because Alex made the right choice in terms of checking the hand, that's always the risk that you run. Is that if you play super defensive, you can also open yourself in somewhere else, which is the case here at HQ.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it really comes down to thinking about like how was he going to win? Like what was the scenario in which he could win the game?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that he thinks that if he scores the Beal, sure, it gets him on 5 points. It feels like he's a lot closer to winning, but now he's a lot more vulnerable, and he could just cough up the win on R&D because he's already down, to 6 points. So
Yeah.
all right, let's see if we can get these guys on. I'm actually going to... Okay, let me send them a link.
So it looks like tonight was pretty runner heavy. Not a single corp one tonight.
Yeah, we had... zero corp wins. Alright, so I got the link to them. We should be able to have them on in just a second. So, Alex is going to advance to the semifinals. So, congrats to him. Spags played some good games. I know that in round one, Spags and Colin had some really good games too. It wasn't streamed, but
Oh yeah.
There was a ton of people watching on Jinteki, like 30 spectators or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Khan's definitely a great player, and I keep mentioning this, and I don't think people realize that he has a lot of consistent results. He's not a vocal in the community whatsoever. I don't notice him posting too much, but
yeah.
one of those hidden gems, and definitely, if people are coming to me saying like, "Would you bet on Colin making the cut again?" I would say, yeah, I would definitely do.
Yeah, 100% too. I've known Colin actually for pretty much since I started playing Netrunner. He's from Austin, I'm from Houston. So we met, going to various regionals at Tulsa, at Team Covenant, and throughout Texas. And man, I always knew he was really good. And then when last year at Worlds when he top 16, I know you guys played in top 16, right?
Oh yeah, so we played a great game in top 16. He definitely played a very solid defensible HB, which he blew out all my breakers. And at that point, I just started running HQ, taking brain at a tag, just to hope to touch agendas.
Yeah, and like you said, he's a very quiet player. Like he tends to just stick to himself, and I think that's kind of the way he likes it. So like I feel like I'm blowing him up a little bit right now, but
Shout out to Colin.
Speaking of quiet players, I am for sure. I hate to talk.
You're not a guy that I would expect to ever talk or host events outside, at Worlds.
Very, very shy, very demure. How are the games, guys? Fun? Sorry, the corpse sucks shit.
I think the games were definitely fun to watch, very interesting. It sucked to see in 2 games in a row that Restructure acted as brain damage for you.
No doubt. Normally, they're supposed to space out so that you can play one early, one mid game, shuffle them back in. Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
See
how did you feel about going into this game? I know you had some hot tech with Keegan Lane and Ravens.
Yeah, I kind of kept that same deck from last week. I've been working on the Soul Glacier for a while. I like that. That's kind of been since Rumor Mill hit. I had a Caprice in here. I switched it to Biotic. Lo and behold, never saw it either game. And so I decided to get around the Rumor Mill. Not that Keegan Lane gets around it, but it kind of minimizes relying on things. But also with the resurgence of Criminal, I thought kind of a slight rig shooter would really help. And they've been fun. They didn't work in the first game. They were ready to work there, right? I mean, I think if he misses that Beal, I'm pretty sure he loses. I mean, almost guaranteed. Like, I don't think he can get an R&D again. Maybe he can get in to kill a Sand, but I mean, that server was hot shit. So
yeah, we were actually talking about that. I was talking about that for you too. Was that hitting that 50-50 had he missed? It definitely wasn't unassailable because what he does have is 3 Faust in the deck. He doesn't play 2.
Right.
He does have a David in hand, so he can attempt to maneuver a little bit, but he doesn't have that much time. And that's you just needed enough of a rope up, and I was vocalizing. Had you had that 50-50, I think you're in a better position than what happened.
Yeah, for sure. Like that turn, that was the gamble. I'm like, do I want to push his Beal out, or then I'm pretty sure he's going to hit R&D or try to, and I just wanted to really solidify it, just hope he didn't run or hope he missed on the 50-50, and what are you going to do, man? But you're right, he could get back in, but he's on the second time through the deck, no chronotype, and he only had like 22 cards left or something, so I don't know.
I'm sorry, I was doing some technical stuff, but were you talking about did you guys talk about the last, towards the end there, when you decided to D up your R&D instead of score the Beal? Is that what y'all were just talking about?
I am, yeah, I was a coward.
Well, I don't know. We were kind of talking about it, like, at that point in the game, like, how do you win the game? Because obviously you can score the Beal, but how are you going to score the next 2 points, So,
well, I felt like I had a Biotic, like I said, didn't draw either game. And if he doesn't get into that Sansan, if he misses there, I score the Beal next turn. And I can Biotic out the last one for the win. Or, I mean, I can play a never advanced game. That's a lot to get into that remote. So how much is he going to spend to run an unadvanced card? I don't know.
Yeah. Did you when you did that the last Jackson shuffle? Did you put a exchange of information back in? Is that what the face down card was?
I did, because there was one breaking news left. I only had 2 in there to make room for the DNA, and it was just like a just in case, because if I could finish it, with a Biotic or something. But
hot reads on Scott.
Yeah, I tossed it early, but hey, Alex, good games, man.
Yeah, hey Spags. Yeah, good games. They were there was some good back and forth in those games, as far as I'm concerned. Like when we're getting near the end of the game, I'm getting close to getting locked out, I think, because all those remotes are just brutal. All your ice demands that David. Like you don't have very much Faustable ice at all, so things were getting really rough. Which is part of the reason I decided to run HQ near the end, because like GFIs, at some point GFIs can just go into that remote and start getting advanced, right? And I probably can't get in to steal them.
Well, you can try, but yeah, early on I did toss 2 GFIs and the 15 minutes in the bin, and when you went to game point, I'm like, oh shit, those got to get shuffled in. But yeah, I basically built that deck for Wizard and for Criminals, and like that ice and the rig shooting, I feel like gives those decks a hard time. Now Shaper can get through the code gates, but
yeah, your ice definitely felt like the best, like your best asset in that matchup, which is interesting out of MBN and out of Sol. But yeah, all your ice was just terrifying. When I got to 6 points early in the third game, I thought it had it pretty much locked, and then a few turns later, I was like, no, we still got a game on our hands.
yeah, for sure. I felt like if you didn't win on the medium, I had a shot, and I've played that deck a lot, and I've beaten a lot of Anarchs going down like that, where you can just lock them out and you just run out of resources, and they're like, oh, I guess I can't get in anymore, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. DNA Tracker was actually pretty solid because it's attacks, but also if I face check it early, I lose some of those resources that I'm almost certainly going to need. So that was an interesting one. How many do you have in your list?
Just one. Basically, I had to drop 2 Christian Grid I had in last week and 1 Breaking News, and I swapped it for 15 minutes, subliminal messaging, and the DNA. I thought the subliminal could do some work because the idea is I early just ice all 3 centrals and a remote, and now you're not going to run as easily, right?
Yeah, it actually made a bunch of sense. There were a lot of turns where the subliminal, where I like really kind of didn't want to run, but the subliminal messaging kind of pushed me to do it, which is when that card's in a good spot. Like once they have to think about it, then subliminal messaging already did work. So
for sure.
Yeah, Newshound just like rounds off that package by being a cheap piece of ice that A ends the run and B actually demands answers. So I like your Sol list better than mine. I'll tell you that. Like.
I've been working on a lot. I mean, yeah, obviously Newshound's the reason to run that ID. And between Newshound, Wraparound, and Data Raven, yeah, that's your early stopping ice, and Archangel, and then I had some heady hitters later. And even the Little Engine, I mean, I love that as a rush piece of ice.
Yeah, that card is very solid. But definitely some good back and forth in our games for sure.
You know, it's a good idea. I'd say Parasite a Little Engine, because that's probably going to work.
Yeah, so that thing stuck it out. Yeah, it stuck out the whole game until, and then the funny thing is that you end up having to trash it yourself.
Yeah, that's the idea.
I DMU. Look, it had done its work. It made the remote marginally less good. It was like an arealized.
Somewhat. Come on, let's face it. When I saw you do that, I really questioned your invitation to this tournament.
I was pretty unsure. I was like, maybe it'll tick up. And at some point you purged. I was like, oh yeah, he just has to purge once every 7 turns.
Yeah, like once every half game.
But I had lots of money and needed to play a card, so I was like, But yeah, probably not good. Well, parasites just aren't very good against you. Like, I probably should have just not been holding on to them, really, because did I play a parasite to any effect in any of I put it on a Data Raven in game 3. That's like the only piece of ice that cares about my parasites.
And I really didn't even care. That Data Raven was just like an early make you run into shit there, right? And so, I mean, right, the parasite, that's another great thing in that deck. The parasite really doesn't do much. I think I only have 1 CVS, but otherwise, parasite's going to be hard because I'm going to ice the centrals. The data sucker is going to become worthless too.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not mad about Parasite right now as a card, but every so often I just desperately wish I had one. So, yeah, like I think Parasite and the Data Raven is still good because otherwise you can just slap stuff behind that in the mid game, and I'm just going to lose so much tempo. So I think I have to Parasite it. But yeah, like, you still come out ahead, and having the Sans out and Breaking News Wildside was very solid as well. I wish I had more employee strikes.
I'm sad you had any.
I mean, mine
if I didn't have any employee strikes, those games would have been terrifying because I can't stop Tarmar without employee strike.
I don't know if you guys have the same bug on your NRDB, but like for employee strike, the 1 and 2 is grayed out. I can't choose anything but 3.
Yeah, you mentioned
the Canadian version of that site.
Alex, you mentioned you're not that high on Parasite really right now. I actually remember from last week that your Wiz list you had 0 Parasite, so I was It definitely stuck out. I was like, oh, 0 Parasite. That's an interesting choice. But I think I think you make a good point as far as the kind of ice that you're likely to see right now, especially at an MBN.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, pop-up window is making a little bit of a comeback, so it's good there. I mean, the main reason I actually didn't have Parasite last week was because Tim Fowler and Chris Dyer told me that I didn't need it, so I just listened to them. And I think they're probably right, because like when your rig gets built up with Ice, Carbonate, Ready Eyes, Yogg, Mimic, Paperclip, everything is pretty cheap. So like you don't need a Parasite there. And in my Double Fork list this week, I was on 3 Faust, 2 Parasite, because I thought seeing the Faust early is more important than having access to 1,000,001 Parasites. But yeah, like Parasite's not as crazy as it used to be, which is interesting. Ice is just a bit more resilient now.
The other question I had was that I noticed you didn't put any... Oh, no, okay, you get Scarcity of Resources. I was going to say you didn't put any Escalation in either of your lists, but...
Yeah, I have 3 Scarcity in my Soul deck, which I actually don't like as much as Tamar. Now I've played it more this week. Like, I submitted it last week and practiced it more this week. Mm-hmm. And the more time went by, the more I just wished I had Tamars. So Scarcity... It's funny because it just makes the maths on econ resources so bad, but somehow it's just not quite as good as I want it to be. I'm not really sure why. It might just be the 1 credit tax.
I thought you were the other way around. 3 Tarmar, 1 Scarcity. You were the other way.
Yeah, 3 Scarcity, 1 Tarmar.
Interesting.
It's still good, but the Tarmar gives you that swing that you need to take control of the game as Soul. Soul just can't use that tax as effectively from Scarcity, I find. So
I watched that game with you guys, and I noticed like a lot of times when you're especially in Netrunner, it's about the cards you put in. It's just enough of a roll bump to either allow you to catch up or pull ahead, and it didn't feel that way with Scarcity. It felt just like it was just a very, very minor annoyance. It's not the same level like I saw with the targeted marketing for you that you did, Scott. It was enough to get you to pull ahead from Alex, and I never felt that when I saw like it's just 2 credits, or you just don't deal with it at all.
Exactly, yeah. Well, Tarmar's so good because it doesn't hurt the runner, it benefits the corp. And a lot of the time, as the runner, you don't mind paying 2 or 3 more credits because like you're still keeping parity. But giving the corp 10 is so horrendous. So yeah, Tarmar's still the best current, I guess, which I should have known already. But
yeah, I agree. It really is. I love it. It's such a skill card. You kind of need to know the opponent's decks and the environment. And you saw it just like either they're going to play through it, which is fine. Like I played against a blackmail spam deck last week in real life. Credits, or you have to wait. Like Alex was just waiting for the employee strike just to play his card, and that tempo hit is so big. And plus, so that's also why I'm playing chunky ice, because it's like if you decide I'm going to blow through it, like the hell with it, I'm going to play the wild side. Well, now I can res that DNA tracker for free. So
yeah, because sometimes these kind of mid or low to the ground Soul lists, their opponent lets them have everything with Tamar, and they res everything they draw, but they don't have enough. Whereas for you, once I let a Tamar fire, there's a DNA tracker or a little engine coming. The thing that we found in Store Champs this year, because there was a bit of Soul around, was there's like a Tarmar spiral where if you play 1 card into the Tarmar, you're basically committing to having to keep doing it because you give Soul the tempo to then Tarmar something else, and you're just going to have to keep giving them money. So you need to decide if it's all or nothing. Like that's what I found anyway.
Right. It's like a whirlpool, exactly. And that's the great thing. There are always targets like you're going to have to levy. So it's like that's always a great time to play it. And
yeah, that's why I levied slightly early in our 3rd game, was because I was worried that time I was going to...
You were really scared of that card. You should just let me have the money, man.
But then ice gets res everywhere.
You know how many times I had 3 restructure? I'm waiting. I'm like, blow through a Tarmar, Alex. Please, just give me 1.
Yeah.
Well, because you were clicking for credits a lot, and I was like, there's restructures in this game in his hand that he's waiting on. It's like in game 2 where you clicked up to that 3rd credit, and I was like, I think he's got a Gamba. Like a Tarmar calling Gamba that looked like a genius, but I was like, it's too much of a risk.
Did you have it in hand?
I did, yeah, I did have it.
You should.
Yeah, that was.
I was like, maybe he's clicking up to like a Temujin or a Daily Cast or something. So, too much of a risk.
Chickened out.
I got a question for you, Spags. When you your first target marketing you played on Wildside, did you do that because you saw the same old thing, or did you just kind of assume that Alex would be on a Faust Wild Cakes build?
I mean, people are on either list right now. It's kind of a strange place because you're seeing more Anarchs using Temujin, and hence they're going to probably be using more of a Regas breaker suite, right? And I felt like I was willing to go against that. I mean, I wasn't as worried about the Regas list, but that early wild side I mean, if they play a wild side turn 1 or 2, I feel like that deck rarely loses. So I'm like, am I going to hurt him at least a little if he's on that list? And I guessed correctly, I guess.
Yeah, I like that kind of hedging play, because that's the weird thing about Tama sometimes is if you don't know which version of Wiz they're on, it's very hard to call a card that both lists play and not have it just not be that effective. Like what you're going to do, call Sure Gamble. Like,
no, you know another good one. You're unsure. Liber accounts.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good one. I think a wild side call is.
The wild side is such an uppercut. I just had it.
Yeah.
You're saying I
that card's
scouted?
still.
I specifically stayed away from Alex's Jinteki games this week because I did not want to accidentally scout him. So
no, I was more interested if the same old thing was kind of like if seeing that, you're thinking, okay, so he's probably got that for Levy, which means Faust or something.
Yeah, it makes it more likely than not, doesn't it?
I suppose that's true. I guess the non-Levy list doesn't run one, right? Because what are they recurring? That's
not
probably
usually. True. Yeah, they don't usually. I don't think they usually run the same old thing.
To be honest, I'm not good enough to think about that. I just guessed.
Well, I don't think it would be terrible.
I kind of didn't want to play the same old thing as well, but I felt like I had to just in case of scarcity, which is funny because I didn't think of the fact that it might tip you off for Tama. God, decisions within decisions, but it didn't. But yeah.
So, Spags? What were you thinking when you saw the blue level? Like when you saw the blue level, I know that was kind of like. I feel like it was a moment where you kind of had to consider what kind of deck is he on at this point.
Well, that's the beauty of the soul list because I've also got a soul kill deck in my back pockets. So, it could honestly be anything, which is pretty nice, and. So it all comes down to the influence. But I've even seen NBN lists right now with just like one boom out of a sink or anything where it's just like, oh, interesting. So I saw the blue level, and I guess I was assuming it was kind of glaciary like mine. And I don't know what the hell was in it because we saw the consulting, and maybe there's kill. Maybe he's just using consulting for ASI and EOI and close. But I saw the blue level. I just assumed it wasn't kill. And I don't know. I still don't know. I just crushed it. I don't know.
That's all you gotta do, just crush it.
Was it on Kill App? So you don't have to say. You might play that list again. Although it looked pretty.
Sorry, did my list have kill?
Do you want to reveal?
Yeah. I have to say no, I don't. So I've just got a Conviz package for some tag punishment and a mid-seasons.
I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty solid, but like I said, I think I need to go back to a 3-Tama version to keep testing it because scarcity, and there probably is a soul deck with scarcity, but it's not my one. So, but we live in.
Alex paid for the influencer consulting visit, and we were actually it was pretty crazy. But Alex actually had all agendas in hand. So when you ran into R&D, got that win, it was the last agenda in the deck.
Yeah, 5%.
But I wasn't mad about that because the way I win that, it's the way for me to win that game is so arcane anyway that it doesn't make a difference whether or not he hits on R&D. Yeah. Maybe I can win if he deep digs R&D and doesn't hit anything, gives me a bunch of pop-up money, because then maybe I can jam in the remote and hope it doesn't have the mongoose, or find the third mongoose and make a triple mongoose server. But even if he doesn't hit up there, and also. HQ is not that well protected. It's data raid and wraparound. At some point in the game when it looks bad, Spags is just going to run HQ and stay on agenda. So
no legwork. I was going to legwork.
Yeah, you said same old thing, legwork, right? So the R&D top deck was neither here nor there.
Yeah, the ASI really killed my econ, but with the Desperado at that point, I still had, like you said, the game in hand. The remote had a second mongoose was in hand.
Yeah,
basically you had no real outs there at that point.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, maybe I have to bait you through the remote once into a Jackson and then go again. But yeah, it's not great. So I didn't feel too bad about that top deck. It saved us time basically.
Right.
Yeah, we actually had an exciting moment when the legwork could have won the game because there was 3 agendas in hand.
Yeah. 3 out of 5 though. So.
Yeah, it would have been a long shot, but
but he dodged the Astro.
Yeah, you got to keep the Astro. So, all right. Well, I feel like I'd be missing an opportunity here if I didn't ask you guys about the meta leading into Worlds and how you feel about it.
Go ahead.
Do you want to go first?
Anybody?
Not you, Alex.
Sure.
Just in general, you don't have to give away any of your secrets. I'm just saying,
I don't have any secrets.
In general.
I don't think I've got any secrets at this point. I know what some other people are thinking, and I won't talk about that. But the world's meta feels really, really open and diverse to me. Like last year, Data and Destiny came out no, it was spoiled, but like we had a bit less time to play with it. But it was just way less open last year. This year, you can play almost any faction, and you can play a bunch of different decks within those factions. So, on the one hand, like I was saying to Kenny earlier that I think this year is really going to reward playing the decks that you pick well, and it's not going to be quite as important to pick the perfect deck. But chances are the players that make top 16 will do both. So, like if you need to find out, we need to find out if there's a good boom deck, and if so, is it worth playing? And then like, is Food Coats good now that Fairchild 3 exists? Like Anarch or Criminal? Do you play Dumbles or Regwiz? But like, I know that sounds very non-committal, but honestly, that's where I'm at. I have no idea.
Well, I think that's good. It's good that we're in that situation where, like, I do think there's going to be a lot of different things that are viable, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out.
Yeah, I think
go ahead.
Other than Wayland, every faction has plenty of potential to win Worlds this year, I think.
Yeah, unless there's a boom deck that Wayland's got.
yeah. Even Wayland is not doomed, but chances are if there's a boom, like maybe Blue Sun Boom or something. But yeah, like there's more than one viable build out of MBN and HB, and Jinteki's probably got a couple too. So.
Yeah, I know from, and I think you guys can throw your opinion on this or not, but like last year Worlds, there was a bit of a committal for a lot of people staying on yellow. And I know yellow's still strong in this meta, but it also feels like everyone else has some hands into it from corp-wise. So it's not just purely a fast advance kind of meta we're looking at right now. We don't have to play like the clot lock. Also from runner, there's a lot of like just crazy lists like Diaper Kate. Like just if you see that across from you, if you don't have an answer for that, if you can't go fast, you're just gonna die. And even if you try to go fast, if they're set up to like fan slates, you can just die to that too. So it's just like this awkward scenario you're in right now. You just try to figure out the meta, and it's exciting, and also if you're being on a hyper competitive scale, it's also a little bit frightening because you don't know how deep you want to go into investing on one side, or just be like, you know what, I'm just gonna play my best, not worry about everything else.
Yeah, exactly. I think for a lot of players, the right move is going to be just play the thing that they play the best. I think for like the top, like if you're a good top level player who's good with all decks, then you've got potential to do incredibly well if you pick the right one. But God knows. Like there's an argument to just committing to a deck like now and just practicing it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. Or you could or you're Dan and you just like pick something at the last minute.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, if you're a superstar, then it's fine. But yeah, this is going to be a crazy year, I think.
Will this be the first Worlds where a runner deck without Count Siphon wins?
It's the best chance there's ever been, I guess.
True. This could be the Worlds where the runner with DDoS wins.
Yeah, I think it seems like jank seems to come up. Dan grabs some janky decks and does well with them. The meta's not prepared for it or whatever. And I mean, 2013, we almost had Catman almost won. I mean, there have been times where Count Siphon wasn't going to win, I'd say. But I mean, if the top players are on it, it's going to do well. But I mean,
Cut out Scott.
You lost your volume there.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
So is there still going to be DLR? Is there still going to be, what decks are running a Count Siphon out of just straight criminal decks?
I mean, I don't see any reason why there wouldn't be DLR. I mean, is there anything particularly going on right now that makes DLR not viable?
Well, that card I got hit with. I think there's a lot more all-seeing eye in the environment, which is pretty nasty. And if you're not on, last year they were on Val, so they had that built-in protection. And this year, if you're on Max or even Val, you can get slammed with it.
Right.
There's Foxfire, the new hottest deck in Netrunner, that might get you if you're playing DLR. Some people think that's good.
Hellion beta test.
I like that card, but I don't know if it's good.
When I did the random for the corp, I did like the jank Stembot thing, and the deck that came back had Foxfire in it. So
people are testing that in real decks. Mark my words. Someone's going to play at Worlds. Someone good is going to play Foxfire at Worlds. That's my prediction.
Sounds
Probably
like
someone with a
you're
barcode.
I'm gonna be the guy who has to reach across the table and read it when it comes out.
Trace 7.
Yeah.
7 on that trace.
This was like the Hellion Alpha test last year. Do you remember that?
Oh,
People were like,
God.
I slapped this in.
I don't know if anyone knows, or a lot of people know the story, but like what was it? We're in your room, Scott.
Yes.
Me, you, Aaron, Joe, and Dan, and we're sitting down there, and Dan's like, "I'm gonna play Heal and Alpha Test." It's like, "What? Why?" It's like, "Cause it's just gonna bounce it off-campus department, just kill all the resources." It was like,
I won a store champ with Helium Alpha Test this year. For whatever that's worth.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Proud to say I never slotted that card.
It's not very good.
No, but I think Alex is right. The world's meta is looking really good. I mean, I have a lot of decks in contention. Like, honestly, these 2 decks I ran tonight, I would be completely happy running them at Worlds. I just have no idea what I want to run. I have so many in the back pocket, and it's just like Alex is saying, what are you comfortable with? And as usual, like, what is a good meta call? And we just don't know the meta. We're mid-cycle. Like, last year we had Dead and Destiny spoiled at Gen Con, so we had months to like start planning for it. And we knew it was going to be a lot more yellow, GFI, so it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's gonna be good stuff. I think King of Servers is also going to be great this year because there's all the factions are really diverse and viable. So King of Servers is going to be maybe even better than it was last year.
Got 2 Toronto teams.
King of Servers last year, best net runner tournament of my life, hands down.
It's great. I tell everybody that hasn't been to Worlds or at least wasn't there last year that I would go, but I would have gone back to Worlds this year just to play in King of Servers. I don't even care about I even told some guys that in my town that didn't have Worlds tickets. I was like, hey, if you just go play in King of Servers, you'll still have fun. Like you'll have a good time. But
yeah, incredible time.
So all right, cool. I'm looking at the bracket here that we don't really have any other games wrapped up yet. So Alex, looks like you'll move on to play either Jonas or Travis Yo.
Oh, easy peasy. You're in the finals.
So you're a first semi-finalist. So congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, top 4. So the prize for coming first is what? $200, $300. It's good money, right?
No, I'm gonna ship you one of my cats.
Oh yeah, we're getting a cat. That's cool. I like cats.
Yeah.
Shipping for cats, Ann.
I'll probably ship you the older one because she's not, she's got the least amount of time left. So
that's fine. I'll take a second-hand cat as a demo.
You have to come back on stream though and eat it in front of us. Though that's only a requirement. Sorry, team dog guy.
The older one is my wife's cat though, so she might not be too happy about that. But all right, cool. Well, anybody have any shout outs or anything that they would like to say before we wrap this up?
Shout out to Team UK. Shout out to Kenny Simon Moon, who gave me a little bit of pep talk before the game today.
Simon Moon doing so much. I want to shout out him too. He gave me some decks for Canadian Nationals, and that was a good time too. Shout out to Team Toronto. I have I think it's 16 strong coming to Worlds this year, so it should be a good time.
UK's 29 on Worlds attendees. Which is
we got a huge monarchy. It's gonna be queen.
No, it's because of the Brexit. We're all just going to stick around in the US and try not to end up back in the UK.
Did you guys want me to bring some red rose tea for you guys?
Bring whatever. Bring us gifts.
Well, I may as well give a shout out to Kenny too. He seems to be the netrunner fluffer right now. His deck's first and second at Gen Con. He's helping all you guys out, just getting you ready for your games here. It's nice,
He's tricking everybody. He's going to win Worlds. He's going to win Worlds after playing this long game.
He should.
I want to give a shout out to Kenny. What the hell, man? You haven't sent me shit. I need some lists. I need some pep talks. All of this sounds great.
Well, he wasn't invited to this, was he? Is that?
Oh no, he was. He didn't. He couldn't do it for some reason.
He's above it. He's too good.
Yeah, I think
too good for it.
I think he saw the list of the competitors and he was just like, not worth my time.
No Dan.
Dan, I'm out.
He's also making StimHack articles a thing again. He's really pushing for that. So the slew of articles that are going up is thanks to him.
What a lord!
Well, that's great. We need more.
What a guy!
More articles, more streams. all that good stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
The site's kind of languished due to the Slack, I think, and I'm glad that he's doing it. I'm helping out. You should see another Worlds preview coming up here. I don't know if I'm going to go behind Team UK again. They kind of let me down last year, so stay tuned.
Yeah, I mean, Hoyland picked up. He didn't win, but he picked up some of the slack. But yeah, I certainly feel like I let you down last year. It's okay though. Give us the encouragement.
As long
There's
as
29 in it.
Yeah, strength in numbers, right?
Go on the other side of the monarchy.
It is a little unfortunate what happened when Slack is great because it's like it got everyone together and chatting all the time. But yeah, it did kind of slow things down on StemHack. But no, that's good. I missed that part of it because now Slack's mostly about pizza and cats versus dogs and stuff like that. So
is it really a cats for dogs? Because we all know
really?
cats won.
Where you been, man?
Yeah, it is. It's a
The
thing.
cats won.
Wait, there's a new competitors entered today. Team Bird. Team Bird.
Watch out.
All
Cats
these bird breakers.
All right.
Peregrine's a pretty good card.
Well, cool. I want to thank all you guys for coming on. This is it's been good chat, and Dean,
Thanks for running it, man.
Yeah, thanks
It's been
for
a
being
good
my co-host, Dean.
Oh, no worries. Thanks for running it.
Yeah, you guys played some awesome games. I think that yeah, these kind of games are the kind of games that it's good to have online and with commentary, so people can, kind of see what's going on in you guys' heads. But yeah, we'll Alex, I'm sure we'll probably see you back. As a 50-50 chance that we'll have you on again next week. So
Yeah, although, yeah, the other semi-final that I'm not in is going to be a great match either way because those are 4 incredible players. Not that all the other players in this tournament aren't great, but
yeah, well, and nobody in there, nobody in that bracket has been featured yet. So
okay. Well, we'll see how it goes.
yeah, it all really just depends on the schedules. Everyone's schedules are all over the place. So all right, cool. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in, and yeah, we'll be back next week at some point. We'll see ya.
Have a good
Catch
night.
you around. Cheers, guys.
Peace out.